What are common things you've never done? I have never been stung by a bee or a wasp. Me too. I'm terrified that if it happens, I'll be deathly allergic. Right now, my evasion game is pretty strong. Good news. Anaphylaxis does not occur the first time someone comes in contact with an allergen. During the first exposure, the person's immune system, which fights infections and disease, responds to the allergen as if it were a threat. Response copied from kid shelf. Orc. So it's the second time getting stung you should worry about. I didn't have an allergic reaction until the fourth time. I got stung 6 times within 10 minutes. I didn't have any reaction. Being ice skating. I wanna try. Just never have gotten the chance. IDK if it's just me. But ice skating is hard. I've gone a few times and I almost always fall. Broke my wrist while going ice skating last time. You're probably a bit biased then. I love skating and find it easy after the initial wobbles. Starting by pushing a chair helped. Broken a bone. Never had a cavity. 49 years. Your dentist both loves and reviles you. Gone to a concert. Don't think that'll be changing anytime soon. Hahaha. Very true. Been in a serious relationship with someone. Could be worse. I've never kissed someone. Same. Same. I've never been trick or treating. How come? Asian. Edit. Almost all Hong Kongers live in apartments, not houses. Whistle for more than like a second. I can only whistle breathing air in. Weird. But that's how my body is built. I can go both ways. Allows me to do it constantly for a little while. At least until I need to swallow. Spit just kinda builds up. Takes some practice to do it right though. Going in is a bit sharp. I'll learn to compensate so no one notices. Dated in high school. Nobody was really interested, I suppose. And I had better things to do. Same. Now I feel it's a double-edged sword. My friends dated some good guys. Others not so much. But they got dating experiences that I had to start getting in my 20s, but I never had to deal with that drama in my teens either. I know from experience. If you want to date someone in their 20s that hasn't been through it in HS like everyone else, agony, can relate. Fucking up is part of being a teenager, and by the time you hit your 20s a lot of people are looking for something else entirely. I've never had, as my parents put it, a real job, that is. One where you turn up at a certain time at a certain place. You work for a certain number of hours for someone who is recognizably your boss. And then you get a paycheck at the end of it. I've done temp work on occasion. But never for long enough to learn how the whole office politics thing is supposed to work. Close bracket. I started freelancing straight out of university. And I just never stopped. God forbid I ever do need to get a more stable job. Because my CV is ducked. Just write down all the individual work you did. Experienced professionals don't just list the companies they worked for. They tell what they did. Not that you need this information P. Also be sure to overcomplicate all your work. So instead of saying you took a shit, say you worked in the food processing business. Skied or snowboarded. Same, and it's more embarrassing since I live in Utah. It's just so damn expensive. I was lucky enough to visit Utah for Christmas a few years ago. Skiing in Snowbird and Alta was one of the best skiing holidays I've been on. Can't swim. Never been in a porta potty either. That's not the place to learn. Make a Twitter, Instagram or Facebook account. I'm jealous that you didn't succumb to that. Like another user is saying. You are way better off never ever making one. Keep it that way. Absolutely. I was never even tempted and was made fun of for it. This turned me defiant and now I shan't ever make accounts. Me too. One night I started registering for Facebook. Was waiting for a confirmation email which was taking a crazy long time. Decide to watch the new South Park episode and come back to it after. The new episode was the one where everyone gets sucked into Facebook, Farmville, and Stan has to fight Tron style to get them out. Took it as a sign. Never completed registration. I've never ridden a bike. Wow, this is an interesting one. Where are you from? I grew up in Nebraska. I have never been on a date, and I'm in my early 20s. 26. In the same boat. My first date was at 27. Good luck. Never gotten high/mellow on weed. I have tried it many times, 40 times, but never got high, only badly ducked or paranoid. So yeah, I'm decided me and weed don't agree. Same. I tried it again a few months ago thinking that, because I'm 30 with my own home, I would have no reason to be paranoid. That whole night I thought my dog was mad at me, and I was seriously upset about it. This is strangely adorable. Learned how to swim. I was in lessons when I was around 3 or 4 years old. I can still remember seeing my dad in the pool. He had blue swim trunks on. I didn't want to go in. I was hanging onto my mom's legs. The lifeguard took me and tossed me into the pool. This was the 80s. I never went back. Still don't know how to swim. My college required swimming to graduate. Luckily I already knew how to swim like a fish. I made sure my daughter knows how to swim. We have taken a break due to the pandemic, but she was going great and I'm proud that she didn't give up, even when it took a few times though the first level to pass. Good. Go swimming for fun. If you are able. Play water games. My friend G, who is now an Air Force general, was on the swim team in a college in Texas near me. We went spearfishing in the Bahamas. His dad was rich. I was not. And I accidentally dropped my spear in 50 feet of water next to the boat. G dove down like a missile and picked up my spear. What? How? I would need scuba gear to do what he did. And I'm pretty sure he cold done 100 feet based on what I saw him do. Some people are gifted beyond belief. Have the dream where I'm flying. Next time you're dreaming, try swimming in the air. Works for me. Been to Disney. My wife grew up in a Disney family. Went to the park often as kids. Always watched Disney movies Sunday night on TV. I grew up in a dysfunctional home and grew up watching shit like Scarface and horror movies. We took her family to Disney last year and she was so excited. It was the worst theme park I've been to in my life. I played like it was special for my wife, but my god did Disney ever suck, not having any nostalgia behind it. Universal was duckin' cool though. I second Universal being cool. I'd choose Universal over Disney any day, as someone who hasn't been to either. Why? It's more adult oriented and has more intense roller coastery rides. Gotten a tattoo. Eaten food from Taco Bell. I've never had Chipotle. I've had it a couple times and I still don't understand the hype. It's pretty bland food, but it's a nice portion of fresh ingredients for an okay price. Watched Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. I refused to watch Breaking Bad solely due to everyone around me demanding I watch it. It was a matter of principle. Once the hype dies off, I watched the first episode and was hooked. One of the best shows I've ever had the pleasure of binging. If you have any free time and can think of a show I'd like to watch, I'd recommend BB. Him in the same boat. Just finished it Friday. Fantastic show. Loved El Camino as well. Are you me? I finished Breaking Bad for the first time on Friday too. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. I binged it in like 5 days lol. There's a host of classic horror movies I've never seen, but the most well known would be any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. My parents forbade me from watching such movies growing up for religious reasons. Every Halloween I say, hey, this is the year I finally sit down and watch that stupid Elm Street movie. And I've still not seen it, because nobody ever wants to watch it. Seen a few others at least. This year I watched Psycho for the very first time. I'm sure I'll get to the others eventually, because nobody ever wants to watch it? Question mark? You know people are allowed to watch movies by themselves, right? A lot of people don't like watching horror movies alone. I'm a horror fanatic, so I do it all the time. But I know plenty of people who refuse to. Never had a one night stand. I've always been in relationships and never had that experience. I tried to have a one night stand / casual relationship once, but we are married now. Task failed successfully. 2 days ago, I would have said fly, but a helicopter ride to the hospital fixed that. So you opted to pay for the executive experience. Not so much opted. as had to. When you live 60 miles from the hospital and are having heart attack symptoms, they don't give you much choice. Hope you are doing better now. Turned out to be a bad drug interaction between a new medication and an old one. But not a heart attack at least. Glad you're here. Tried mustard. I don't trust it. Built a snowman. It's weird because I live in Canada, but when I was a wee kid all my elementary schools had this rule about picking up snow. So no snowballs, no snowforts, no snowmen. We were however allowed to roll snowballs along the ground, but not to pick them up. So I've never built a snowman. Gotta say that's a pretty shitty rule. Never sworn in front of my parents. Damn. My mom and I communicate mostly through swear words. It's never hostile though, mostly just emphasis. In a Hungarian family like mine, swear words make up 40% of the vocabulary. I've never watched any of the Back to the Future movies. I've had people get legit upset when they found out. I kinda like having not seen it. Not sure you'd enjoy it now as much as you would have in the 1980s, but I still recommend at least watching the first one. Back to the Future is great no matter when you watch it. I'm 15, so I obviously wasn't around to watch it in the 80s, but I've loved it since I was a kid nevertheless. I've never eaten an orange because the smell made my sensory processing disorder go crazy, and here I'm at almost 20, never having had an orange. Had an eye doctor appointment. Imagine having to pay to see? Instead I just have asthma, so I pay to breathe. Meanwhile, I pay for both asthma and bad eyesight gang. I've never broken a bone. I've never had a cavity. I've never been to Disney World nor land. I've never seen the Godfather movies. I've never been stung by a bug. I've never skied. I've never had a Big Mac. I've never driven a convertible. Gotta start living. I've never eaten a burrito or a kebab. I wish I were within driving distance of you, because I'd give you a super meal. I'm in Texas, so I suspect we are on different continents. If you have never had those, let me know. If I can somehow do this remotely, I'm on the same continent. I need burritos and kebabs. I can probably buy you that if you PM me the name of a burrito or kebab place near you, and your name. I will look it up on Google Maps and make it happen. Seen Hamilton. It's a good show if you like musicals. I didn't see it until it came to the Disney Channel. Since I'm not so much into rap, I enjoyed it a lot. I've never taken a train by myself. I wouldn't even know how without looking it up. Never went rock climbing / bouldering. Also, I never ordered wine in a restaurant before. I did drink wine with Coke at a party though. Must not judge. Watched Titanic. I worked in a small town theater when it came out. Must have worked through 20 playings. It was truly the worst, and I haven't been able to watch it since. I feel like it is such an overrated movie. It's more of a watch once check it off the bucket list kinda movie. I never finish shit. You need more fiber in your diet. Solid advice. Tie a shoe cause I don't know how to tie it. I tied my own shoelaces once. It is an overrated experience. Never been to Disneyland. Poor families don't have the time or money to travel for expensive leisure vacations. As a kid, Disneyland may as well have been Mars. There was no way I was ever getting there. Disneyland wasn't always insanely expensive like it is now. I guess I'm lucky to grow up in California so it wasn't a huge trip, but I can see how people in other regions won't be able to afford it. Did you ever get to go? Like later? Drinking coffee and soft drinks. Coffee I can get, but dang, soft drinks too. That's a tough feat. Never had Chinese food. You are missing out. There are so many good options. What's a common order? I'm from UK, so no idea if that changes anything. I get leaflets through door, but never really took the plunge. I've never met anyone who hasn't tried it either. I'm pretty sure it would be similar in the UK. It is a tough call. I would stick with a beef, chicken, pork or shrimp dish depending on what you like. I love fried wontons. Beef in a crispy hard shell fried. I would stay away from the ones that you can't tell what it is from the name until you try someone else's food. They have a lot of different sauces, so it is a matter of trying the ones and finding the ones you like. Actually, the best thing would be to go the all-you-can-eat buffet and try all the different things and remember what you get. Never seen A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, or any of the Griswold movies, or Die Hard? I'm impressed you haven't even seen them by accident. Ridden in a taxi. Been inside a Starbucks. I'm a major caffeine junkie, but I would have no idea how to order anything there. Ordering in there is like ordering from any chain. You look at the menu, order something, consume it, then regret your decision. Hey PSSST, please subscribe and like.